see this text through the lens of what I would like to label today the Hope Bistro. Let us surveillance and scrutinize the contrast between those in the kitchen and those serving in the dining room at the Hope Bistro in Brooklyn, New York. When we arrive at the text, Luke says that Jesus entered a certain village. History suggests that this is the Mary and Martha of John 11, Lazarus' sisters. They were in Bethany. John 11 says, now Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him, but Mary was sitting in the house. Two principles of kingdom living. Martha ran to meet him. Sometime when you want your prayers answered, you got to meet Jesus part of the way. And then other times, my grandmama would say, you can't hurry God. You just got to wait. You have to trust him and give him time, no matter how long he takes. So sometimes you got to meet him part of the way, and sometimes you just got to wait. This supposed supporting text gives us a clue to the character variances of Martha and Mary. So in the periphery present here, Martha is on the platform of preparation. She is in the kitchen getting things ready. And Martha is hard at work, and Mary is this worshiper. So if you're thinking with me this afternoon, why do you think Jesus kept coming to their house? Martha was the real deal. Girlfriend could burn. Couldn't Mary even help out a little in the kitchen? Martha, the word says, was distracted. One transliteration says she was encumbered by the amount of service she had to do. Her complaint to Jesus indicates that she was irritated that her sister was not helping her. So I want to submit for the next couple of minutes that at the outset of our harvest and the conclusion of this harvest time celebration, and as we go to the end of this year, I want to submit that it's cooler in the sanctuary than what it is in the kitchen. And so it's always hot in the kitchen. The kitchen is the necessity for the dining room to have something to serve. It's etiquette in the dining room, but preparation goes on in the kitchen. There's a day-to-day operation, and yet there's a showroom presentation. I want to suggest that there's a difference in goals, atmosphere, and vision of what we propose. In order for things to be cooler for others, it has to be hotter in the kitchen because people are expecting a great meal. So in order to get the right atmosphere in the dining room, it has to be a couple of things I want to drop on you that has to go on. Somebody look at somebody and say, first stress and strain. We need a clear vision. All right, there must be a clear vision in the dining room with one voice and one sound. Sound like the drum line. One voice, one sound. And if we can't do one voice, one sound, if you try to showboat, if you try to get a trophy for yourself, if you try to get an applaud all alone, you're going to have to be dismissed from the drum line, because we want one voice and we want one sound. Customer service is our objective. Excellence is our goal. We choose to put the customer first. The kitchen and the dining room must provide a unified front. Collectively, we must give our guests the best we have. If our house, we're here, the house of hope, the bistro of hope, can our hospitality on steroids keep people returning for the meal and the service that they've received? What customers want to eat in a restaurant is that where the cook and the server hopefully get along. I need to say that one more time. What customer wants to eat in a restaurant where a cook and server don't get along? If the cook and server are not getting along, it will slow down the service on the dining room floor. Their friction will cause a dysfunction at the bistro. We don't have time to fake the unity. We must develop it and bring discipline to our team. There can never be debriefing in front of the customers that we serve. I know y'all want to look at, what is it? Star, what is it? The app, Star something. OnStar. No, that's not OnStar, is it? No. The app where you see all the crazy stuff. World Star. Okay, yes, I know y'all look at it. Come on. I'll talk to me. Y'all got to help me out. I know y'all like the drama. So somebody sent me something, and two women were fighting in the church. So right in the bistro, where people are supposed to be getting served, two people are fighting right in the bistro. There can never be debriefing in the bistro. And especially not in front of the customers we serving. You have a beef with your brother or sister in the dining room, the fighting can't go on the dining room floor. That is not the place to air out your differences. Wait until you get behind closed doors and say what you got to say. But at the whole bistro where we're trying to show customer service, we can't be throwing books. Not at the bistro. People that have been enjoying the meal and the service don't need to hear or see hostility between the servers. No arguing, no fighting on the floor, no throwing napkins and knives and forks and spoons. Somebody got to use that stuff. So we have to have a clear vision. But secondly, somebody shout, we have to have values. We must produce the menu in the kitchen and the value of what we declare in the dining room. You can't take to the congregation, the public, what you don't produce in the kitchen, the private. You can't take to the congregation, which is the public at the bistro, what you have not produced in private in the kitchen. One of the values you have to pay attention to at the bistro is territorialism. Territorialism is the enemy of the kitchen. I'm just going to say this one time. All of the pots, all of the pans belong to the bistro. The pans don't belong to the cook. They belong to the bistro. The goal of the kitchen is not to collect pots and pans. We are here to produce a meal. The customer will continue to come back as long as he and she can get a great meal. If you get the pot that you want and I get the pot that I want, that still doesn't get us a meal. We can shine personally and shine pots and pans. But we have to successfully, collectively produce a meal. So you got to be careful of territorialism. And touch somebody beside you and tell them not only does the pots and pans belong to the bistro. Come on, talk. Tell them the whole kitchen, because I know some of y'all think y'all own the kitchen. The whole kitchen belongs to Hope Bistro. One of the other values instead of territorialism is trust issues are the poison in the kitchen. Trust issues is the poison in the kitchen. We have to address what has passed its expiration date in the refrigerator. Bishop, can I just walk this, please? God told me I had to walk this right here. If it's poison in the kitchen, someone is going to get sick in the dining room. Okay. Mistrust is contagious and even viral. It is infectious on contact. You infect people because you don't know that you've been infected yourself. And I think I ought to tell you that you don't have to touch the original source to get the infection. And some of you are infected just by people you are associating with. You're supposed to be in the dining room and you in the kitchen and you trying to eat something that has already expired. It's already expired. We have trust issues, and the real deal about trust issues is that it's not that you don't trust the other person, you don't trust yourself. Because the worst enemy to me is me. And how do you expect for me to like what you look like and who you are in the mirror that you shun? Okay. Watch this. So trust issues are the poison in the kitchen. But trite issues are the massive issues in the kitchen. We permit the petty to become the priority. I've been saying for years, everything is not a 911. And why are you letting people ruffle your feathers? So, why are you so insecure? Just because they're having a conversation in the corner and you haven't been invited doesn't mean they're talking about you. You're not even that important. You ain't that important. You ain't that important that I got you on my list to have a conversation about you with somebody else in the corner. You are not that special, baby. I got more to talk about than just you. I got an agenda. I got a life. I got stuff going on. I'm trying to work deals. You are not one of them. We major in minors. If you are talking to yourself and having a discussion in your head, please include somebody else into your conversation. You might need to go sit on the couch and get a few pills. You might need to take your medicine, baby. Value and discrepancy must be discussed. We must have a security personality and collectively hash out our differences. Making a mistake won't get you fired, but if mistake becomes your mantra, that's something different. That's something altogether different. So, if you always make excuses, and every time we ask you to do something or be somewhere, you always have another excuse. You have shifted from making excuses to becoming an excuse. And I can't have no excuses with a label on your chest, not in my crew. Y'all ain't talking right there. You have to work on you. Personal devotion and positive development will make you secure as an individual. Your personal security is in your relationship with your God. You can function in your gift without a personal positive relationship with God, but gifting and talent are futile without God blowing on them. Professional development is what people must be prepared to do when they ask to do. When they are challenged, they freak out because they are insecure. There's no reason for you not being good at what you do, because for some of you, you've been doing it too long, but what it is, you don't like to put the work in. You want us to be all right with it being good enough and not excellent. And the enemy to excellence is good enough. And your good enough ain't good enough. Now you can get mad all you want. We're not going to use your chicken this week. It still got hair on it. We're not using your potato salad. I know it's good at your house, but it's too salty at this house. So we can't use your sweet potato pie because you burnt it. You left the good one home, sent the bad one to church, and you thought it was all right that we should be good with it because you voluntarily gave us something. Well, now, baby, if the sacrifice didn't cost you nothing, don't bring the sacrifice to the house of God. trying to get through this. Wife, you come and get me if I go too far. Right? You have to understand, when you are insecure, you always become intimidated by other people's opinion. So now, you can't hear nobody saying nothing. Because as soon as they say something, you get all of your feelings. And so you don't see correction as something that is love-driven to make you better. You see correction as criticism because your insecurity keeps you looking at everything in a negative way. So you never can hear anybody say anything to you, all of your defenses come up. All of your shields. Shields from everywhere. You trying to block out everybody. You think it's Star Wars. You trying to get the force to work. You trying to block everybody. You trying to block everybody away. And what happens is you never grow. And you never develop. Because the word says, whom he loveth, he chastens, he corrects, he brings an altering way to do something. He brings another path to take. He gives you another way to process and think. We are in here together, working together at the Hope Bistro. Vision gives us the value system that undergirds our bistro. But because we have such an excellent spirit in the kitchen, it should allow us to be able to receive critique from other chefs. If you can't take criticism from a fellow comrade, one who is in the same field as you but has excelled beyond you, you miss the opportunity for personal development and cultivation. All right. Yes, Lord. Why are you mad at me for pulling your coattail and talking to you? And I've been pastoring 34 and a half years, preaching 42 and a half years, and you get mad because I think I know it all. Well, after 42 years, after 34 years pastoring the same church, I should know just a little bit. 3 degrees later, I should know. I thought it was me. Thank y'all for helping me, Bishop. The conflict of the old technology of the Israelites and the new technology of the Philistines, often we get stuck between Gothenburg and Google. We have to close up the gap in regards to the technical divide. Okay, I heard you. I heard you now. Okay, I heard you. Okay, so David is fighting Goliath with a slingshot and some rocks. Old technology. Gothenburg. And Goliath has been preparing for battle since he was a child. He got a spear with the head of the spear that weighs 75 pounds. He has one shield that he carries on his arm that is round. But he got an arm bearer. And his armor bearer carries his oblong shield that protects him from fiery darts and arrows. He's new technology. He got stuff from the feet all the way to his head. He strictly Googled. He pressed it, said, what we need to do for body. I mean, he did the Iron Man thing. He just stepped in. Head to toe, new technology. We good to go. And before you get to me, you got to kill my armor bearer. And so we get stuck because we still counting on a slingshot. And I'm not saying the slingshot don't work. I'm just saying that the new technology can help you strike from a distance without getting anywhere close. Watch this. We have failed to adapt to a digital environment. Okay. This is the only gut punch. This is the only one. I did pretty good so far. This is the only one. Dinosaurs were extinct and roaches adapt. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Okay, yeah. You know, it's the same piece where you know the architects designed the Titanic, and Noah designed the ark. And when the floods came, so you got to know when to shift the technology and the digital divide. The great threat to the future of our church is past successes. Because success can be seductive. You can become in love with your success and forget that another burden is required. So then you accomplish this one thing. And you're going to stay here in the intoxication of the one thing when there's more things to be accomplished. And greater things. I was telling a brother the other day, I was sitting with him yesterday. I was speaking at the Omega Psi Phi awareness banquet, and I was telling him, I said, one of the problems with us is that we get too complacent with our successes, and we don't understand that if you can see the end of the vision, it's not vision at all. That the whole idea is that whenever a burden is being lifted off of people, another burden has to be placed on them. Because what we do is not for us. What we do is for the generations to come. So what we have to think about is stuff like, so if I don't build the senior citizen home, if I don't build the school, what I'm at least going to do, I'm going to pay for the ground. So that the next generation don't have to worry about dirt. All they have to worry about is construction. Okay. Don't get married to the method. Get married to the message. You have to keep shifting the method. Because this group right here, ooh, Jesus. Kyle is 25, that's my baby. I think that some of this great stuff up here, I think that's because of him. I never told him yet, but I'm going to have to give it to him. Because this entitled crew, they have no stick-to-itiveness. They have no commitment to nothing but themselves. At best, they're fickle. At best, they're fickle. They vacillate all the time. You can't count on them to be in place, not unless you put a tag on their name. And then sometimes then you can't count on them to be in place because they think a tag on their name is for them to delegate and not to do. So every decade you have to shift the methodology, or for me, recreate myself so that I can stay relevant with the new crews that come up. Now I'm grateful that I have Noelle, because Noelle's 34, so Noelle keeps my head level. You know, she says like, Dad, you can't say that. And I said, Noelle, but why? That's what, Dad, just find another way to say it, Dad. Let me give you some words. Why don't you try to use these words right here? Because you know, I'm losing my filters, you know what I mean? You know, I'm over 60, I'm losing my filters. And so what happens is that, so she helps me navigate my way. And now, since Lady's starting to find her footing, I could just send her and let her take the bullet, because she gonna say what she gonna say, and then she gonna be prophetic, and she gonna pray for everybody. And see, I'm, Peter's still working his way out of me. You stepped to me wrong. I'm liable to. What you say? What you just said? It's still the North Philly in me, Paul, that you know. So what happens is you have to make sure you find a way. What's it? To negotiate and compromise. Yeah. And so so now I try to figure what days are permissible for me to cuss. Can't do it every day. I mean, asking God. So it's this day. Can I do it between 9 and 12 today? Y'all ain't saying that. Okay. So watch it. And I'm through. We swim in deep streams. We collect data every week. Liars figure, but figures don't lie. So we have to take attendance every week. That's what we do. Morning service, Bibles. Every time people come, we have a book. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Jack. We have a book of attendance because we want to know what's trending down or what's trending up. You have to make sure you pay attention to nickels, noses, and nudges. Money, nickels. Noses, people. Nudges, decisions. What's going on with the money? What's going on with the people? Because if people are not taking their medicine, you're going to have problems with the money. And if you're not helping them with some of their decisions, it's still going to affect the money. Y'all ain't talking right there. Leadership and servants. We pray on the run. We pray on the run. Every day you are living between tragedy and triumph. You got to pray and keep on running. Okay. Right division. Make it plain. Transliteration is write the big vision, put it on a billboard on the Verrazano Bridge. So as I'm driving, I don't even have to stop to see what the vision says because it's so clear on the billboard, I can read it while I'm running. Okay. We're going to pray. I'm through. Play something soft. Stand. Watch this. Bishop, this one going to bless your life. I go to every meeting with a needle and a gun. If the needle can't heal you, the gun will take you out. But there's going to be a change somewhere. Somewhere along the line, we have to realize that change is an imperative. And if you've been doing the same thing for so long and nothing has changed or worked, it's about time for you to make that change. Now, you know, take it any way you want to take it. We can either stitch you up because it's just light stuff going on at the meeting. But if we have to dismiss you, that's okay too. You know, my people know how I am. I'm the same all the time. My stuff is like, you know, we love you. We thank you for your volunteerism, your support, your participation, your partnering. But please don't think we can't do this without you. This is not my church. This is his church. It's our church. You know, so I tell people all the time, bro, die today. I dare you. I dare you die today, and next week somebody will be doing your job back there in that booth. Treasurers, trustees, stewards, whatever you are, die today. Somebody will be collecting and signing the check that you used to sign. Because God doesn't need us. He uses us as instruments of his peace. And you being here does not prove anything to God. That we were going to have church with or without you here. But since you are here, you might as well give him what he likes. And he inhabits the praises of his people. It's hot in the kitchen. But for some of you, you got to figure out, can you handle the kitchen? Or do you need to just keep on serving in the dining room? But however, just make sure that you understand that the people in the kitchen are working hard to prepare what you need to serve to the people. And if you're not willing to serve it in love, why would you want them to cook it in love? And this is a hospitality house. This is a house of excellence. I came to just push you a little harder when he told me that, you know, all that he was doing and the whole house is going to have a new look. I can't wait. I can't wait to come. I just know him, so I just can't wait. I want to be a part of it. But what I want you and I to know, that it's going to take all of us. It's going to take Martha and Mary. See, if you notice in the text, even when you get to John 11, that is still Martha and Mary. It's not an either or, it's a both and. And I think sometimes what we try to do, we try to eliminate. Now what is interesting is we always eliminate what we are not. You have to, okay, I'm just saying this, we gotta go, you know, because when people start talking about sin, they only talk about the sin that they are not participating in. You know, they be talking to other people, talking about how bad people are and what they're doing, but they're not talking about the sins that they participate in. They just, it's this. I tell people all the time, all of us in here are fruit. He is the fruit inspector. I dare you to get so pharisaical that you think you can expect somebody else's life and your life is all jacked up. And not for the grace of God. There go you, there go I, there go us. But his grace keeps us. And without his grace, where will we be? Just come across the aisles and grab somebody's hand. Meet in the middle. Meet in the middle. Just meet in the middle. Everybody, just meet in the middle. The interesting thing of Paul's epistle when he writes about unity is that unity is nothing that you have to strive to produce. As believers, we're supposed to just walk in unity. It is what we suppose, without an effort, we're supposed to